out of Melbourne. And it's pretty much like a boutique label at the moment. And what have we been, 2 years now? Almost 2 years. And so far so good. We've got quite a few good players, really good players playing them, and got some great feedback, which has been fantastic. And I think they're up there with the best in the world, if I can be so bold to say that. I've played other sticks. Obviously, I was endorsed by Big Firth for 20 odd years, so it was going to have to be quite a significant shift and something that was going to make sense, and I knew what I wanted. So when I played them, I was definitely surprised, but also confidently. I thought, this is a fantastic marriage, between moving on, doing something different, walking into a different type of a business thing, and looking at pursuing this further. And the sticks that I play a few different models. So I play 5As, I play 5Bs, and I've got a 2B. So different situations, I play different sticks, which seem to suit me pretty well. They are hickory, most of them are hickory at the moment, but we're going to be working with some Australian timbers as well. So Maddie, do you want to talk a little bit some of the other timbers that we're going to be using?
Yeah, so we've tried a few different timbers. We tried some Jarrah, spotted gum. We've given that a run, so that's not too bad. But yeah, we're still going to play around with, what timbers are going to work. We don't really want, you all to play a stick that's going to, break off and splinter and cut you in the hand. So there's still a lot of work to get to a point where the native sticks will be, at a point where we'll be selling them. So, but yeah, they're all made in Seville, which is just up in Melbourne, and yeah.
So I said that most of them are hickory. So the hickory does come from overseas, because that seems to be, we don't grow hickory here, right? So that's one of the main questions is, where's the wood come from? So obviously hickory has been the most, I guess, versatile in the sense that it's strong, but it's light and it's durable. So across the board with any drumstick company, they pretty much use the hickory. But yeah, working with the Australian timbers, that's going to be a lot of fun and something to look out for. So you can, get us online. We've got an Instagram, we've got a Facebook page. And obviously we've got them in DrumTech, the shop here in Sydney, Frank's fantastic shop. And we also do want to say a big shout out to Frank too for giving us a little bit of time here to be able to promote what we have as a boutique label. And your support would be fantastic. Come and try them out. Come and buy a pair and see if they suit, see if they work for you. And let's keep it local. I think one of the great things about it is an Australian company made here in Australia, which is important for a lot of industries, but because we're losing a lot of industries, and even just in that, that mindfulness of keeping it Australian, supporting local, is kind of a good thing for the overall community and the drum community, and drum manufacturers in Australia who want to keep producing and making drums and drumsticks and so forth. So we've got a speedometer meter over there. So we're giving away a couple of pairs of sticks who can do the fastest single stroke rolls within 30 seconds. So it's a lot of fun. I had a go before, and the pad is quite, it's not forgiving. So, you've got to pace yourself, but 30 seconds seems like it's quite a lifetime actually when you kick off and go really fast. I think I got 406 hits within 30 seconds, and I want to try and beat that. I'm sure that obviously that's not that good compared to some guys who can do it, but that's as fast as I can get it, today right now. So I'm going to have another crack. But come over and have a go, and then you can get yourself a couple of pairs of sticks and try them out. Take them home, try them out. We've got some stickers and whatnot. And if you want to talk more about the sticks, yeah, we can do that. Anything more you want to say, mate?
Yeah, I just want to thank everyone that's bought sticks and the return customers. The loyalty has been good, so it's great to see people returning, buying sticks again from the bottom of their heart. It's amazing. So, if you have bought sticks, you've tried them, thank you so much. And come see us. If you've got any questions, come over and have a chat, and love to talk to you.
So I'll give you a little, I've got a little exercise here which I kind of work with my students, and got one of my students here from a long time ago. He's not here right now. Hopefully he pops in, because I want to see if what I showed him actually has had any significance in his playing at all. Maybe he might pop his head in. But I'm going to talk a little bit about this. Now, hopefully you can remember what I'm about to say, or try and, you know, photographic memory style. This is one of the techniques I use, or one of the things that I use to try and build speed, build some endurance, accuracy, and I've dubbed it the Duracell rabbit. And you remember, some of you might remember that little Duracell bunny rabbit in some of those commercials. It's you know, very stiff, very rigid. You know, looks very militant, very robotic. Obviously, it's that little bunny. And when I do this exercise, it's a similar kind of a feeling, or it's a similar type of way of playing. But I think once you let go of that and you go back to your normal, relaxed, you know, kind of style, it definitely helps develop a little bit, I think anyway, and it has for me, some strength and endurance and all the rest of it. So I work with 4 rudiments, singles, doubles, triples and quads, which is what I use for this. And it's not about doing it fast, but it's about doing it correct and trying to, you know, think and be mindful of quite a few things. So we're looking at posture, we're looking at, you know, how we're hitting the drum, we're looking at how hard we hit the drum, concentrating on the different types of, you know, rudiments, obviously, singles, doubles, triples, quads. And basically, it goes like this. So you get your sticks. It's a good way to try and balance your stick, find that pivotal point on the stick where it's balanced. And I usually just pinch it around there. So that, for me, that the weight is evenly distributed on the stick when I do that. So it's you know, so you can do a little practice of that. It's like your little, you know, Jedi kind of trick there. Right? Move it around a bit. Right? Somewhere like that is a nice place to start, because that's where the, as I said, the weight is distributed even. Now with this grip, what I do is I make sure these 3 fingers are gripped around the stick quite firmly and are touching the palms of my hands, or both hands, at all times during the practice, or just the rudiment or the technique. So you're not, as we normally play, have hands quite relaxed and the fingers are off and they're quite... It's completely different. You're actually wrapping your fingers around, and you've got those fingers touching your palms at all times just for this exercise. Which is interesting, because when you start to play this, it feels really awkward, but what that's going to do is it's really going to work these muscles in your arm, and it's potentially going to give you a lot more strength. And because if you're just, you know, relaxed, which is great, which is the way you should play, I think you can, when the time comes when you're playing, if you start to feel like you're cramping up or you're losing the stick or anything, this type of technique really helps rein that in and keep that control. So as I said, fingers touching palms, you've got your fulcrum grip. A lot of you might have heard of the fulcrum grip. You basically got fingers on your palms. Now we're looking at the snare drum as a clock, so we've got 4 o'clock and 8 o'clock on the snare drum. You can even draw the little 8 and the little 4, so you know, you basically got your sticks like this on the snare. And what's good about that is it keeps the, you know, the sticks completely in the centre, gets you mindful about that, so when you're going around the drum kit, you can also have that thing going on as well. You're not kind of, you know, all over the shop. There's a mindfulness to it. So once you've got the 4 o'clock and 8 o'clock, I like to really keep, you know, an inch off the snare, you know, making that a very prominent feature within the dynamic of the rudiment and what you're trying to achieve, or the sticking technique. So you start, and the other thing we do is we start at 90 degrees. And what we're going to do is, as we're coming down with the right hand, just to do your first stroke, and as we come back, one of the good things is to pretend you've got 2 snares either side here, right? So you've got a snare here, and you've got a snare here. So as you're coming down and you're hitting the drum, you're whipping back and you're hitting another drum. It's not there, but you're pretending it's there, and you're going to hit it as hard as you can. So, because this is about trying to build that endurance and that strength as well. We're keeping the fingers touching the palms at all times, We're 4 o'clock and 8 o'clock on the snare. We're 90 degrees. We're remembering we're an inch off the snare, and we're going to come back and we're going to snap back, pretend we're hitting that drum as we're hitting this drum. So it goes like this. So it's pretty militant. But I'm trying to get as much action, strength-wise, or a downward stroke, as well as whipping it back up at the same time. Fingers touching palms, 4 o'clock and 8 o'clock. I'm making sure that my sticks are an inch off the snare. When I come back down, I go to doubles. And your arms should be out, not tucked in here, your arms should be out a little bit as well. When they go like this, you start getting this windscreen wiper thing, I call it. We don't want that, so we want our arms out like this. So singles. And as I said, it's not about speed. This is about getting all those functions right. Singles. Triples. Quads. So when you're doing that, you know, it feels really strange because your fingers are touching the palms. You know, you're not going, you're not loose. So it's a different kind of way of doing it, and you can feel it burning your arms quite, you know, sufficiently. So you know, you've got to make sure that you don't strain yourself. That's a very important thing about it. But if you can remember some of those things that I've just told you and discussed, and have a go at it, take it home. You can email me at Lucius Borich drums at hushmail.com if you've got any questions, or Facebook or Instagram. Yeah, and I think it's a good one too, because over there we're going to do this speed technique thing. So obviously that type of a thing hopefully builds endurance, builds speed, builds focus, builds a certain mindfulness about you know, the height of the stick. I'm always going on about that when I do lessons and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a good technique. Try it. Try and work with it. See what you can get from it. I was hoping one of my students was here, but he's not here because I taught him quite a while ago, and I wanted to know if it has had any lasting impression on him, but he's not here. But anyway, look, I just wanted, we'll wrap it up now for this little section and with Ascension. Thanks all for listening and hanging out, and I hope you got something out of that. And as we said, you know, I'm playing tomorrow too, by the way, at about one something, I think. So I'll be on the main stage playing along to some tracks, so come down and suss that out. And yeah, enjoy the beautiful 2 days of drums and, you know, and all the rest of it. Yeah, have fun. Thanks, everyone.